Hi, everybody. I'm Lydia. I'm here on the marketing team at Flatiron School. I want to welcome you to the Meet the Mentor series. In this series, we're interviewing some amazing mentors who are often facilitators of our courses here at Flatiron School and getting to know them and hear their stories. Our guest today is Francis Q. Francis is a data scientist slash AI engineer at Hartford Healthcare, as well as an advanced AI and machine learning and a data science facilitator at Flatiron School. Welcome, Francis.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Can you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and what you're working on these days?
Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Francis. I am an AI engineer slash data scientist. I currently work for a large hospital organization in Connecticut. Yeah, so most of the work that I'm doing right now is based on LLMs. So working on RAG engine APIs, doing some cool stuff with document classification, as well as implementing Vertex AI search engines, recommendation engines. And yeah, happy to be here.
We're glad you're here too. Thanks for sharing a little bit about what you're doing now. Can you talk a little bit more about what your day-to-day looks like in your role?
Yeah, so typically the day starts with if there's a new request from a stakeholder or somebody that needs something with relates to like an AI task. There's typically a process that we should follow, and then we pretty much triage that request, and then pretty much plan out the day, whether it's something that's urgent that needs to happen immediately or something that could wait in the backlog. So that's one of the things. And then typically, so in an engineering environment, we follow the agile process. So you have you're gonna hear this a lot, but maybe user stories or tickets for a set of 2 week sprints. And so the goal is that you finish your tasks, your sprint tickets within that 2 week time frame. And then so within your tickets, you prioritize which ones are the highest priorities and you work on that first. And then yeah, so you just kind of like work with those tickets during that sprint if you follow the agile process. That's what we do. And then a lot of times, a typical daily task would be communicating with stakeholders, giving them updates, giving them, if you have any follow up questions with the work that needs to be done, definitely communicate with stakeholders. And also, you have your typical engineering meetings, which is usually either a stand up, and a stand up is just some people even call it, I think, a daily huddle. And it could be like a 15 to 30 minute like meeting, and that the purpose of that meeting is to update everyone if you have any blockers for your tickets. So if there's something that's holding you back from completing a task, you verbalize it to the team, you ask them for help if you need help, and also just to update everyone in the team what your current status is with regards to a ticket. Is it behind? Is it going to be completed for this, set to be completed for this current sprint? Or do you need more time? Is it going to roll over? Things like that. So that's just one of the meetings that I could think about that I have to attend daily. And then occasionally, another one is having one-to-ones with my manager. It's not a daily thing, more like a weekly thing. It's just like a check-in meeting to make sure that that I'm able to that if I have any questions with regards to the work, I could speak with my manager about it. If there's anything I need him to help me prioritize things like that. Let me see if there's anything else I'm missing on a daily basis. Yeah, and then I would say that um a lot of whatever whatever meetings you don't have for the day, then that time is set to help you complete your tasks. So that's what it's for, right? So yeah, coding task, data analysis task. So as an AI engineer, a lot of my task is related to coding, and making sure that our infrastructure for the engines that we have built, for the AI engines that we have built, is running smoothly, making sure that we have unit tests, integration tests running smoothly. Um, and yeah, so that's just a few things, but it could vary. Sometimes there's emergency, sometimes there's something that's not working in production that you need to fix right away. That rarely happens. Hopefully it doesn't happen to anybody, but it does happen. So, but yeah, that sounds about it, I think.
I was curious, you mentioned that you have like blocks of time to do your more focused work. Do you have any methods that you prescribe to there? I know like I've heard of time blocking, and then I personally like to use the Pomodoro timers to help me focus. You have anything you like to use?
I actually I just block my calendar. um so as engineers, we try to advocate for having less meetings and more time dedicated to doing the actual work, because when you have meetings back to back, I mean, you have to code at the same time, it really does throw you off. Your
Yeah.
focus gets thrown off. So what I try to do is, well, first of all, we advocate if we could have the meetings like, if it's not necessary, maybe we don't have to attend, but if we do, we try to have it maybe in smaller, portions during the day. And I used to use this tool called Focus. I think it's called Focus Time, but I don't use it anymore. But that was when I did use that tool before. I remember that it worked out perfect because it actually automated the times that it thinks I could focus on. So it would analyze my calendar and be like, oh, from like 9 to 12 you have meetings, but after like 12:30 or something, block like 2 hours for your focus time. Um, yeah, and I'd stopped using the tool, but I'm pretty much doing the same thing. I'm just blocking my calendar. Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart.
Mm.
I was curious, so I don't know how long you've been in your current role, but how do you feel like your role in general, kind of no matter at what company you're at, like how do you feel like it's changed over the last few years with
Yeah.
AI? Any big noticeable changes?
Yeah. So I've been a data scientist for about almost 6 years. Yeah, 6 years now. So I started as a data scientist like right when COVID started. And it was the because I used to be, believe it or not, my past life, I used to be a nurse. And I, like the students in Flatiron, used to be non-technical, and then I transitioned over into this technical role at the beginning of COVID.
Hmm.
So that was very stressful because I remember my first deployment. That was the first day that the company told us to don't come back to the office in New York City.
Wow.
Yes. So I was so nervous because I had to deploy from home and remotely. But thank God there were other engineers that helped me. So, but yeah, so anyway, I've been doing this for 6 years and a lot has changed. I'm seeing a lot of different things that have changed. So when I first started doing this, because the company that I worked for before knew that, this is my first data scientist role, they gave me more of a data analytics role. My title was data scientist, but the tasks really were focused more on data analysts. So, for example, like SQL queries, creating dashboards, things like that, and speaking with stakeholders, providing insights, and those things. And then I feel like ever since I started, there has been so much growth in the AI space. So up until like 3 years ago, I would say the focus has been more on like data analytics and maybe some classical machine learning. But since ChatGPT came out and there's an LLM boom, the tasks have been diverted to more towards NLP, natural language processing. And it makes sense for a lot of companies, right? So my previous company, we did have conversational data, so like messages between customers and our agents. So the big thing was like, how do we summarize this data? And then boom, ChatGPT came out, Gemini came out, all of these nice LLMs came out, and like it's don't have to tokenize. Like there's a lot of data pre-processing that you don't have to do compared with the traditional machine learning that we're used to seeing in NLP, right? So the NLP space has changed so much over the past 3 years. It's incredible, and I can't wait to see where else it takes us, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. Are there any, so with all of the new AI developments,
Mm.
are there any key skills that you think are crucial to the workplace now? And that can be soft skills or very technical skills, just kind of anything that comes to mind for you.
Okay, so this might sound surprising to some, but and I also always tell this to my students is that um, do not disregard the soft skills that you have. So even if you're coming from a non-technical background, believe me, those soft skills are transferable. I've had to do the same thing, right? I've had to transfer from like a nursing role into like this very technical space, and I do leaned on a lot with my soft skills. And by soft skills, I mean like communication, making sure that things are clear between the stakeholders, between you and your teammates. I really, communication is key, because you could be the most technical person, you could be a wizard, you could do all these things, but if you do not communicate clearly, I can guarantee that the project, whatever you're working on, is not going to go well. So you have to have, you really have to have that communication aspect. What else? I do want to say that there's also, so because AI is here, right? There's a lot of companies now. I'm noticing a trend, and this is not scientific at all. This is just from my observation, but I'm noticing a trend that companies don't. They would still ask you to code, but they are asking you how to use AI to help you code, right? So how do you utilize this tool to help you code, and do you know what you're checking for in the AI output? Um, so yeah, so AI is great for help. I mean, it has fast tracked my processes at work, like 10 times faster, right? Like amazing. But you still have to learn how to interpret that output and make sure that it's not hallucinating, or it's not giving you anything that's weird or that's gonna throw off your production environment. So that is one thing to watch out for. Maybe that's a tip that I could give to students is, when you do interview uh, with a company, ask them like how they are with like AI tools. Like how are they looking at AI tools? Are they looking at AI tools as something that could help you, process things faster, become more efficient, or is it something that they prevent you from using at work? It would just be interesting to find out where their perspective is, because AI is here. It's not going anywhere. It's already here. You might as well use it, but you have to know how to use it properly and responsibly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Kind of switching gears a little bit, I wanted to talk about your career journey because as you said, you were in nursing, which is total pivot. Can you walk us through your career journey a little bit and share some of the pivotal moments that shaped where you are today?
Oh man. Okay, where do I start? I started nursing this will give away my age too. Back in 2008. Wait, yeah, that's when I graduated from nursing school. So I first started nursing with an associate's degree, and the areas in nurse within nursing that I worked at is mostly ER, some medical surgical floor. I also did what's called a float nursing, which is float nursing is like they ship you to anywhere, any department in the hospital when there's a need. So you kind of have to be ready. Like you arrive for your shift and you don't know where you're going. So I did that a little bit. I did some psych nursing. I did all kinds of nursing, even cath lab. So I did that for almost like 13 years. The last nursing role that I had was telemedicine nursing for the same company that hired me to become a data scientist. So what happened there is that 2019, yeah, 2019, I had graduated from my master's in public health, and I wanted to, and during that the curriculum, I graduated from UMass Amherst. And in their curriculum, we had to take the statistics and epidemiology and some data. It taught me like data collection, data analysis. And I'm like, I really like this stuff. It's really interesting. I really like it. And then, so I graduated. And then at the same time, my company back then said that there's a big opportunity if you want to transfer, learn about, other departments. And I was working for them already as a telemedicine nurse. If you want to, shadow or like look into a different department, they are going to support your transition. So I said, wow, this is a big deal because I've always been curious as to what's going on that side, other side of the office, where they always look like crazy over there. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm really interested. I want to know what they're doing. So yeah, I shadowed a few engineers, and I was really interested with what the data team was working on, creating visualizations, like creating metrics and things like that. I was like, okay, that's really interesting. I want to actually try to move into that department. And so my employer at the time was very supportive. They actually helped me get into a boot camp. I did boot camp for about 6 or 7 months for data science. And then once that was done, I presented them the certificate and they were like, okay, that's it. You could move over. And that was it. That's how it started. And then, yeah, so that happened in February 2020. And by March, we were all working remotely. So, yeah, so that was like very, very, I still can't believe how it happened because I know a lot of people that not just in the nursing space, but whatever industry they're working in, they were like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, but how do I do it? It's hard to transition. Like, I'm too old, I can't learn. No, don't say that. Those are excuses. There is a way. And believe me, if I could do it, because like if I could do it, anybody could do it. Anybody could do it because I have a kid. I had a kid. Like, how old was she? Maybe she was like 6 or something. Yeah, she was around 6 when I transitioned and when I was in school. You could do it. It's hard. It's probably going to be the hardest thing you will have to do. But if that's what you really want to do, go for it. Go for it. Don't let excuses stop you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So talking about education, so it sounds like you went to school for nursing originally, and then you did a boot camp in order to switch gears.
Mm-hmm.
What is your kind of perspective on tech education today? Like, what do you think the value is of a boot camp compared to other options? So like
Yeah.
some people get a master's or an associate's or 4-year
Yeah.
degree to switch into different careers. What's your perspective on the boot camp experience?
I'm all for boot camp. I don't know if you know this, but I'm all for boot camp. That's how I got in. That this is how I got in the tech industry. And I'm so thankful for that because I wasn't in debt for like a 4-year college degree at that time. So um I think boot camp is enough to put you into that entry level space. And once you have that first step, like there's that foot inside the door, you learn as much as you can from this entry level job, right? And if you feel like you need more education, like you're not getting enough education, you could always go back and get a master's degree. I actually did go back and get a master's degree from UC Berkeley. So, but as just to put in one foot inside that door, I do believe that boot camp is enough. Boot camp and a lot of perseverance. You will need it. It's doable. It's doable. So I like the boot camp because it gives you just the enough basic concepts for you to be able to like understand, just even at the basic level, right? Because even in regular school, you're not really gonna learn everything. Like, yeah, they'll teach you some courses, but the true learning really happens at work. Like that has been my experience, even with my nursing career, with my data science career. You could learn as much as you can from school, but the true learning really happens when you're doing it and when you when you are stressed to do it. So yeah, so that actually I think is the most effective way of learning. But the boot camp prepares you just enough so that you are aware of what concepts you might encounter in the real world, right? I like to talk about that in with my students a lot, because I'd say like, this is the boot camp course, and this is what I'm trying to tell you. And then in addition, in the real world, you might encounter these things. um, so they're not as surprised when they're out there. But yeah, definitely, boot camp is a good way to start.
I like that you said that the true learning happens when you're stressed or like in distress.
Yes.
Because it's so true. And there was, I can't remember her name at the moment, but there's a woman who's also a teacher, and she for years has like been teaching on how, or like growth mindset and
Yeah.
how to learn. And I've seen several really cool quotes from her about stress and like the frustration. She talks about it like that's what learning is. Learning is like when you're frustrated, and it's that
Mhm.
gap of getting to knowing something. So, anyways,
Yeah.
so that was a good quote. It's also a good segue because I wanted to talk about lessons learned throughout the process.
Mm.
So, what's one lesson that you have learned from your career that has stuck with you?
Yes. I always say this to my students. Do not be afraid to ask questions. Please ask questions. So it can be when you're new and you don't know anything, like going in, it's really like intimidating. And then you have like all these senior engineers, senior scientists that are around you. Use them. That's what they're for. They're there um, to help you grow, right? So if you don't ask questions, they don't know that you're not understanding something. So make sure you ask as many questions as you want, and don't be afraid thinking like, oh my God, they're going to think like I'm stupid or I don't know what I'm doing. You're new. You don't know what you're doing. Just say it. There's nothing embarrassing about it. And I made the same mistake, right? I was very, very intimidated. Um, and it was like, I was like the only female there, the only female. So that's even more interesting because it was like a total switch, right? Because the nursing, my nursing career, it's like 90% female. And then I switched to the tech industry and it's like 90% male. So I'm like, oh, like it's different. Like the politics are different. The just the scenarios are different. But one thing I could say is if you don't know, just ask the question. Um, use your manager. Make sure. Oh, this is a good one too. Make sure that you have a copy of the career ladder from your employer, because that's how you know how you can level up. They could tell you, okay, for level 1 engineers, this is what's expected of you. But to level up, if you want to level up to level 2, then these are the things that we're expecting from you. Make sure you have that from day one. You're aware of what that is, so that you have like a clear goal, a clear path on how to move forward, so you don't feel stagnant. Because sometimes it happens, right? I mean, there are some things that engineers do, that data scientists do, that could feel a little bit more like routine. So make sure you have a copy of that, how to level up at work. How do you get promoted? How do you move on to the next level? So yeah, so ask questions and get a copy of that career roadmap.
That's great advice, and I think you're the first person who said that so far. When I've asked, just it's very practical and good advice for someone who wants to grow and if you want to level up, make sure you know how to.
Yeah, you know where I got that from? That's from my nursing. See, this one I'm talking about. Anything is transferable, guys. So from my nursing career, so when you get hired in a hospital, they typically show you where you are. Like, okay, you have like 5 years experience from these types of floors, med surg, ICU, blah blah blah, and then this is the box that you belong to. So then you don't just look at that box. You look at the second box and see on the top box and like, oh, that's the box that I want to be in. These are the things that I have to do. So not all companies do it like that. And it would be a good challenge for them too, right? To let them know, like, listen, I'm here. I know I'm level 1 right now, but I want to know, how do I get to level 2? So yeah.
Yeah, it's good. And on a similar vein, but there might be something different here. Was there a moment where you faced a major challenge or failure, and then how did you grow from it?
Oh my god, all the time. Every day. No, just yeah, no. So major failure. When I was first starting out, we were in such a small data science team, data team, that and the company that I was in was a startup, so we were kind of like trying to do things ourselves, but then nobody was like a true expert in the data science field, so it was really hard for us to deploy machine learning models and like actually get like good learnings from the deployment. And so a lot of the times we would have like a product for like 3 months. We would work on it, get your evaluation metrics, ask the stakeholders, blah blah blah, but at the end it doesn't go through. Like, you present it, you're like so proud that you made this something, right? I once made a model to predict like how many customers, it's basic, how many customers would you get in like a daily, weekly, monthly timeline, right? I was so proud of that because I worked on it for 3 months. But in the end, they didn't really they didn't see the value of it. So, and then I realized that I did not speak with the right people when I was pitching this. And so it kind of lost momentum, and now it's just in the backlog somewhere. I don't know if somebody will ever pick that up. But yeah, so but then I would say, because I failed from that project, that helped me build, like, for my next project. Then I kind of knew who to speak to, like, okay, this time that plan didn't work out, then this time I'll try this other plan. I have a new project to pitch. um yeah, so with each failure, I mean, you will fail, like it's inevitable. Like I've never met a data scientist that said, oh my god, my projects are all 100% accepted, now it's all in production. That's just not reality. There will be projects that just don't go through. But no, still be proud of it, because if you have put some time to work on it, you're always going to learn something from it. Always, every project gives you something back, even though it doesn't get approved or doesn't get deployed in production. There's always learnings from it. So yeah, don't be afraid, to fail, because it will happen. It's hard when it happens, but sometimes it's necessary for you to grow and move on to the next phase, right?
Yeah, that's good. And then moving into mentorship, just wanted to talk about that for a little bit. Sorry, let me restart my sentence. I was wondering how you first got connected to Flatiron School and what drew you to the school.
How did I hold on, I'm trying to remember how. I think I started like late summer. I may have seen. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna share a really interesting story. So back in 2019, when I was looking for boot camps, I actually applied to Flatiron. And I failed. I failed the exam. So there was like I don't remember, I honestly don't remember if there was I think there was a written exam, or there was like a mentor, like some mentor that would screen you and tell you whether you're prepared to enter. And I failed that exam. But I'm still here, guys. Like, see, like, don't give up. Like, don't give up. It's gonna happen. Don't give up. So yeah, so that was the very first time I heard of Flatiron was through that. um and I also know of some engineers that actually are graduates from Flatiron from my previous role. And so then fast forward many years later, I think I saw like I don't remember if it's from LinkedIn, but like a post on how, like you're recruiting facilitators. So I applied, and I got in touch with one of the admins, and yeah, here I am. I have mentored for free before, like, like just as a volunteer for other, like for smaller companies. So I've always wanted to, maybe it's because I talk too much, I don't know. But I've always wanted to share that experience with people, especially with people that are coming from non-technical into technical space. Because when I was first doing it, I didn't have that support system. I was telling my nurse friends, like, oh my god, guys, like I'm going to this boot camp. They're like, what? What is that? What is statistics? What? So yeah, so I forgot what I was saying, but anyway, yeah, so I've always wanted to mentor people, and I found the Flatiron curriculum to be, to be robust when I first started. And then I really enjoy teaching the capstones, um teaching the students, like, in the real world, this is what really happened. Things like that. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you kind of just touched on this one, but I'll go ahead and ask in case you have anything you want to add. But what inspired you to become a mentor? Is there anything else you'd want to share on that?
Yeah, so this is going to sound so other than I like to teach people, right? I want to share my knowledge and share my skills. I also think that the best way to learn is to teach. I've always been a school nerd, and I love learning and relearning. So my husband said that I am going to be in school forever. until the day I die, because I went through like nursing school. I got my associate's degree, then I got my bachelor's degree, and then I got my master's degree from public health. And I went to a boot camp, and then I got my master's degree in UC Berkeley. So then when he found out that I am facilitating, he's like, "Oh, thank God." He's like, "Thank God, you're done being a student. Now be a teacher." And I'm like, "Yeah, I love it because I get to talk about my experience. At the same time, I'm still learning too. Like sometimes I've had students that are like brilliant, and they have like math backgrounds, and they're like teaching me about time series. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. I'm learning from my students. This is great. So yeah, I love that, because I am also learning from my students, and I think it's a good, back and forth.
Yeah, that's awesome. Has anyone influenced your career knowingly or unknowingly, and knowingly or unknowingly mentored you?
Definitely so from my first employer as a data scientist, before I even transitioned into the data science team, I knew the data science manager, and he was already my friend. So that was that was already biased because he was already my friend. But he really encouraged me. He really encouraged me to go for it. And I would share with him like frustrations through the boot camp, when I was going through the boot camp. And I like some at one point I'm like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I just, maybe it's just not meant for me. But he really helped me. I didn't cheat, okay, but he really helped me. He really helped me, like, just with just that emotional support. Sometimes you really need that. And he also like would clarify certain concepts. So he was more of a machine learning engineer, and I feel like we kind of learned data science concepts together. So there's overlaps between a machine learning engineer and a data scientist. But um I feel like he is the same as me, where he likes to teach so he could learn. Yeah. So he was actually like a very big influence in me, because until this day I still use the concepts and the knowledge that I learned from him, both soft skills and technical skills. I still use it, and I would say, what would he do in this situation, right? So yeah, he was the one that really helped me get started, and very, very thankful to have found somebody like that.
Awesome.
Mhm.
What has been the most rewarding part of mentoring students so far?
Oh, I again, like I said before, I love to talk. So I love to talk, and I love sharing my experience. So that for me alone is like rewarding enough. Like, I really like seeing people grow, and I like that, they come back to me, and like, I love it when they give me, so when I give them the lecture, and when they hand me like an assignment, and then like I noticed that they actually took what I said and applied it to the assignment. I get like, oh my god, it's so nice. It's so cool. I get to influence someone. Like, it's amazing, and their their minds are so brilliant. Like, it's just amazing how, with enough perseverance, right, and enough studying, you could actually do these things. And it's amazing to see people do that, to see people pivot from one area to another, right? Yeah, that is just very, very rewarding.
Yeah, that's awesome. How do you keep your students motivated?
Yeah, I hope they don't get bored, honestly, when I talk a lot. I always try to make sure that if they need help with anything, like if there's a concept, because sometimes I feel like if you don't understand something, and you feel like that's a blocker, then it's kind of like you don't know how to move past it. I always tell my students, if you need help, do not hesitate to reach out, even if it's email or however you want to reach out. Just reach out. this is what we're here for. This is what we're here for. Don't hesitate to reach out. We could go through the concepts again if it's something that you don't understand or you just need extra help with. No problem. And I also like to facilitate with having students talk to each other, because I feel like that bond that is created during a boot camp is really strong. I still have friends from my boot camp back in 2020 that I still talk to until this day. So, because you go through this shared experience, this really tough shared experience, and I feel like that creates a strong bond. So, I do encourage them to, talk to one another. What do you think of, for especially for capstone, right? Like, what do you think could be improved? What do you think? What did this person do that was really good? Just get feedback from one another.
Yep, that's good. Okay, and then if you could give advice to someone just starting out in tech, what would it be?
Just go for it. If this is what you really want to do, don't make excuses. I did that myself too. Like, I was thinking, oh, you know what? I'm not smart enough. I don't understand math. I don't understand statistics. If this is what you want to do, just go for it, and it will work for you, right? You will make it work for you. It's probably easier said than done. But there are ways about it. There are ways about it. If you need, to reach out to, if you're having trouble like trying to figure out whether this is the right thing for you, what I actually did, and this is a tip from my data science manager friend. He told me to reach out to strangers. Oh, I think LinkedIn was a thing back then too. Yeah. And then he just asked me, like, just ask them like what their experience is, and then it could really help you figure out whether this is something that you want to do. And I did. I was like, I felt so stupid doing that. Like, oh my god, like, why am I doing this? Why am I reaching out to these strangers? But no, people actually respond. You'd be surprised. People actually respond. I remember I reached out to a blogger, and he was writing about he had like birth models. That's what his main topic is always about, like birth models, embeddings, vectors. And I reached out to him because I was reading his articles, and I was like, how do you like it? And then he gave me his perspective, and then I realized, like, okay, you know what, yeah, I think this is something I really want to do. So don't be afraid to talk to people, network, reach out to people. That could really help you decide, and just go for it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And then kind of moving into the last set of questions here, just kind of talking about your future goals. What's something new that you're learning or exploring right now, and why does that excite you?
Future goals. Let me see. I didn't think about my future goals. Um, so there's always, so with LLMs, I feel like every day there's a new paper, there's a new benchmark out there that you need to read, and you need to understand like a new concept every day. So for now, like my immediate future goals would just be to understand anything that is like emerging, because it's very fast paced, extremely fast paced. And so we have to keep, as data scientists, we have to keep up with that technology, because I I mean, classical machine learning, of course, is a big thing still, right? But there's definitely the trend is moving more towards like these new AI concepts. So I'm just trying to keep up with all of these new things, trending things, and there's always new architectures, new things that you need to learn, even if you don't implement it, right? But just be aware, because you never know when you might actually need to use that at work. Yeah.
That's good.
Mhm.
And then, Sorry, I was getting my brain.
No worries.
And then are there any projects that you're working on right now that you're particularly passionate about?
Let me see. Yeah, there are projects, but it's just gonna sound weird, but they're more not not data science stuff. Like for work, it's more of like see, this is why I'm saying you have to learn new things, because sometimes you get thrown things that are not really within your space, but you have to pick it up. So right now I am helping with our DevOps, with our CI/CD pipelines, and doing some container work. I know that sounds not data sciencey at all, but that's for me. It's really interesting because I'm learning. It's new to me, right? It's not something that I normally do, but I'm learning from it, so I'll take it. Um, so yeah, that's very interesting for me. And my other current project is actually, yeah, actually this is classical machine learning, which is like document classification. So we have a set of documents that just needs to be classified into certain categories, and actually used classical machine learning for that. Well, I mean, classical, we use BERT embeddings. It's classical now, but um, and then we use BERT as a baseline, and then convert, and then later on, probably gonna use LLMs to see if we could use LLMs to classify those documents. But yeah, that's exciting.
Awesome. And then if you don't have an answer to this one, it's okay. But looking ahead, what's a big dream or ambition you're working towards in your career?
Let me see. What has something that I've always bothered my husband about? um, I don't really have. Yeah, that's an interesting question, because I think right now my main focus is just to make sure that I'm updated with all of the things that's going on. I do want to eventually learn about MCP servers. Because I think, and even that is like changing already, and it just came out. So that's like one of the immediate things that I want to learn about. But like a future thing, yeah. I'm sorry, I can't think of anything.
That's okay. That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
We don't we have different seasons, so it's like there's not always something right there in front of you that you're thinking about.
Yeah, maybe it hasn't hit me yet. Maybe one day it will hit me.
Okay, well, I'm going to move us into our final round of questions, which is our lightning round questions. It's okay if you want to take time to respond. You don't have to respond quickly, but I'm going to try to ask them quickly.
Sure.
So the first question is, what's something you're listening to or reading right now?
Oh, I always read. So I have articles that get sent to me from various like blogs. So like any like data science newsletters. That's one way I definitely. That's like my light morning reading. Yeah, I can't give a specific article, but that's pretty much what I do every morning.
Is there a newsletter or any particular ones that you like?
Yes, there's one's from Substack. Oh, I don't remember the name of it. There's one called the Rundown. I like that one because I feel like it gives you the rundown, like the major ones. And then I still read like, this is gonna sound so nerdy, but I read like epidemiology papers from time to time because of my public health background. But yeah, I don't
Why
think,
not?
yeah.
That's a very unique light reading.
Yeah, yeah, from time to time.
Um, well, I'll see if we can get the links to some of those Substacks from you, and then we can
Yes.
include them in the notes.
Yeah. I have to look at my inbox. I'll forward it to you.
Okay, sweet.
Mhm.
And then what's one product or tool you're into right now?
Oh my god, I just found this out the other day. It's called Napkin. I think it's napkin.io. I don't
That
know
sounds
if you're
fun.
familiar. It's a text to image, but really it's like a text to graph generator. So you and I don't work for them. I'm just saying that this tool is amazing because sometimes I need to make diagrams and I hate making diagrams. For example, for architecture work, you need to make diagrams a lot. So that I found it really helpful. You just type in your thoughts, like step 1, step 2, step 3, and then it automates it for you, and it creates this nice beautiful diagram. So yeah, it makes your life easier.
That was napkin.io.
I think so. Yeah, napkin.io.
Awesome. And then, do you know when your next cohort is?
I just started one.
Okay.
Yeah, just started one. Yes, a new one yesterday. Also capstone, 15 weeks.
Okay, so it'll be a little while for the next one.
Mm.
Then, where can listeners find you?
Don't. I guess LinkedIn is my only. I don't really have. I mean, I have my Instagram, but I don't post anything there. Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. You could look me up, Francis Q.
Okay. All right. And then the last question, what made you smile this week?
What made me smile? Well, my cat was lost for a while, and then she came back. We found her, and then she got lost. She got lost again this week. But it's okay. I think now she knows how to come back on her own, and I didn't have to go searching for her, and now she's back. So that really made me smile. I didn't have to go crazy looking for her. So yeah.
Yeah, that would make me smile too.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for your time. This has been awesome and really appreciate you. And I think all of our mentees or our bootcamp learners are lucky to have you as a mentor. And I just hope you have a great day and thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye.